Who's the Benevolent Fund for? Well, it's obviously for our members. It's for our members' dependents, former members, and our former members' dependents. There's a lot of confusion about who is eligible to make an application to the Benevolent Fund. It's for all of our members, former members and their dependents across the globe. There's no geographic restriction, and there's no requirement, to have ever contributed to the fund. Over the years, when we've referred people through to the Benevolent Fund, there's been a reluctance for people to make an application because they think that because they haven't paid into the fund at any point or contributed to the fund at any point, then their application would be void. The objectives of the Benevolent Fund are the prevention of relief of poverty or financial hardship, of relief of sickness and the preservation of health. And the fund meets its objectives through predominantly financial assistance, but also offering various other forms of support, education and practical advice. How does it work? Each case is decided on its merits. People make an application, be them members, dependents, or from the list described earlier. And there's no upper scale to the grant, which is considered. Most of our regional groups will have a Benevolent Fund representative in place. If they do, at the point of application, usually what happens is that a Benevolent Fund representative would visit the applicant, firstly to establish a personal link. That's actually very important, and also to be able to make an independent appraisal of the circumstances. Often there is additional information which the trustees, people that make the decision on the application for the grant, there's additional information which can be gleaned from an appraisal of the circumstances of visiting the applicant rather than just what's on a piece of paper. The fund also employs a benefits consultant, and they very helpfully advise whether the applicant is entitled to any other or new or additional benefits to those which they may already be claiming. And then at that point, the Benevolent Fund trustees consider the application, the information from the Benevolent Fund representative, and any additional information from the benefits consultant, and decide whether to award a grant or any other form of support. And grants can be awarded either as one-off grants or as long-term financial support. The fund is it's always deemed to be a very healthy fund, and in actual fact the institution would prefer there to be more applications to the fund than there currently are. It's supported predominantly by its own investments. The fund is invested and they take financial gain that way. Regular contributions from members through payment through subscriptions. A number of very generous member legacies and bequests, and also the regional group activity whereby they put on fundraising events specifically to fundraise for the Benevolent Fund. In looking at the accounts in 2018, the grants that were awarded were in the order of £190,000, which is not insignificant. And I think the fund itself looks to award about between 20 and 35 grants a year. But again, if more applications come in, then they would consider more applications. And if there is a need for funding or support, then that would be given. And that's it, really. That's just to highlight and raise the profile a little bit of the Benevolent Fund. It does tie in a little bit with the fitness to practice, obviously, where we have identified members through whatever processes that they may be suffering from, either poor health, which has an impact on their financial situation. We would always refer them through to the fund, but obviously applications come in from many other different routes to that. If you want more information about it, the benfund@i-e.org. There's further information on the institution website about the fund as well. But please do get in contact if you want any further information. Thank you.